We've got some unfortunate news for Dylan Spencer, an edge for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, as Joey McGuire announced that he will miss the 2024 season with a knee injury. In today's video, we'll discuss possible replacements, even more injury updates for the Red Raiders, and other camp standouts. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and, tell 5, 10, 15, 20 of your friends about the podcast so you can stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long right here on the largest independently owned Texas Tech YouTube channel in the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, let's get into the unfortunate news of Dylan Spencer, a guy that I was actually really looking forward to watching this year because, let's face it, Texas Tech needed to find a guy that could step up and be one of those high-quality edge rushers, right? And I thought Dylan Spencer had the potential to do that. Unfortunately, Joey McGuire stated that sophomore edge, he'll miss the 2024 season with a knee injury. And it happened either day 1 or 2 right before they went into full pads, according to Coach McGuire. Spencer was going to be heavily in the mix to be a guy that was on that field boundary type edge spot, the guy that, probably is in the running there with Issac Smith in terms of who's going to get the most snaps there. But unfortunately, now the Red Raiders will be without Dylan Spencer. And this is the second year in a row the Red Raiders have lost a guy where you were excited about them in terms of their prospects to potentially elevate and really become a sustained edge rusher for this Tim DeRuyter defense. Instead, you missed out on Issac Smith last year, who will be in the rotation this year in terms of trying to get to the quarterback. But now, unfortunately, you have a guy in Dylan Spencer who made an impact as a true freshman last year. But now, unfortunately, again, he will be out for the 2024 season and will use his redshirt and be back as a redshirt sophomore in 2025. All right, other post-scrimmage press conference notes from the head ball coach himself, Joey McGuire. Again, this was the first scrimmage for the Red Raiders on Saturday, August 10th. This video coming out on August 11th because we wanted to get a little bit more information if there was any for Dylan Spencer, but this is what we got right now. So let's run through some of the players that stood out in the scrimmage according to the head ball coach. You've got Mo Horn at the cornerback spot. No surprise there. He's likely going to start. Not likely. I would be very surprised if he isn't starting opposite of Braylon Lux. Then you've got Ben Roberts. You've got Harvey Dyson. Maybe he's the guy that steps up and takes that Dylan Spencer role that is going to be desperately needed filled for the Red Raiders. You've also got Justin Horn. Good to see his name there. All the DTs, he said. All of them, which is great considering if you remember his quotes from earlier on this offseason where he said he feels like there could be 6, 7 guys in that DT rotation for the Red Raiders as they try to really not replace just with 1 or 2 guys, but try to replace with the whole entire group the loss of Jalen Hutchings and Tony Bradford. He also mentioned Dre McCray at inside wide receiver. You've also got Jordan Brown on the outside alongside Josh Kelly. Now, a guy that is super interesting because I've heard he's had a couple of issues holding on to the football, and it's a drastic jump for him in terms of going from 2A high school football to Power 4 football, right? That's a big jump. Let's just be real about it. But Coach McGuire mentioned him in terms of the running back, and that is Jacoby Williams. Now, outside of, Jacoby Williams at the running back spot, there is an injury to discuss in that RB room, and it is to Cam Dickey, who right now looks like he has a pretty solid chance to be RB2 behind Taj Brooks. Now, he rolled his ankle this past week, did Cam Dickey, the true freshman. He did not play in the scrimmage, but it looks like it won't be too bad of a thing. They're trying to get him back, and hopefully that will be the case soon. As for the actual scrimmage itself, Coach McGuire was upset, I guess is probably the best word to say, with the too many pre-snap penalties, whether that was, false start, whatever it could be. He was upset with that, and that's something that they're going to have to pinpoint and really adjust in terms of what he wants to see in terms of the expectation going into week 1 on August 31st. They're at the Jones against the Wildcats of Abilene Christian. Now, before we get to the rest of the notes here, I have to show you guys this. I mean, look at this. Home field apparel. Round of applause for them, huh? I've already got this ordered. This is arguably my favorite hoodie, long sleeve, and even just regular t-shirt of Texas Tech right now. And you can get them in a bundle. You can buy them individually, however you want to go about it. But the most important aspect of this is you can save money by using the promo code BACK212, all capitalized, to save 15% off your new favorite Texas Tech hoodie, long sleeve tee, or just regular t-shirt. So head on over to homefieldapparel.com and get your new favorite Texas Tech shirt. And you might as well save some money because we know you're going to buy them anyway, right? Save some money, 15% to be exact, with the promo code BACK212. All right, let's get to the rest of the notes from Joey McGuire post-scrimmage in his press conference. At left tackle, it is a two-horse race between the injured Sterling Porcher, not Porcher, my mistake, Porcher, and then Dalton Merriman at left tackle. There has been a lot of buzz about Dalton Merriman potentially taking that spot at the starting left tackle position. You had Ty Buchanan and Caleb Rogers both play right tackle. The reason being is when they put Davon Carter in at right guard, they kicked Caleb Rogers out to right tackle. I still believe that Ty Buchanan will be the starting right tackle for the Red Raiders in week number 1. Flipping over to the defense, you had Bryce Ramirez miss this scrimmage. He is out with a hamstring injury, according to Coach McGuire. They hope to have him back soon, within the next week to 10 days. Now, you got Joseph Adedire as well, who was held out of the scrimmage, and that was due to an ankle injury. But according to Joey McGuire, he should be back on Monday to full practice. They played 22 guys on defense with the ones. That's encouraging. You think about it from the DT perspective, you got 6-7 guys there. You're going to have a flood of guys on the edge, and you feel really good about your linebackers and also what's going on in the secondary, the likes of CJ Baskerville, Chapman Lewis. You've also got the aforementioned earlier in the video starting corners, most likely, in Braylon Lux, Mo Horn, and then you have the star position, and that's where we go to right now, where it sounds like A.J. McCarty, the Baylor transfer, the guy that had to sit out last year, has a slight edge on B.J. Jordan, according to head coach Joey McGuire, at the star position. But I've said it multiple times here. I really, truly think that's going to come down to literally who starts game 1, right? I think you're going to feel very comfortable with both of those guys out there, regardless of the position in the secondary, but mainly at star. Those two guys are studs, in my opinion. All right. When we talk about possible replacements when it comes to the edge position, because again, you're going to have to replace Dylan Spencer, a guy that I was really high on in terms of I didn't think he was going to go out there and have, a Pete Robertson type season or anything like that. No, or Tyree. I didn't think anything like that. But I thought he would be a really good piece on that defensive line that's really going to be not just one or two guys anymore. It's going to be a rotation and a flood, and you're going to have a lot of guys with, a lot of endurance on there in terms of, you think about it, you had Jalen Hutchings, you had Tony Bradford. Those guys had high levels of endurance, right? You need endurance when you come to the edge aspect of things in the DT, but if you can cycle them in and out, now you're putting your endurance against the offensive line of the opposing team's endurance, and you're probably going to win because they're going to be more fresh because you have more bodies being out there. The guys that have stood out to Joey McGuire are the aforementioned Issac Smith. You've got Harvey Dyson, Joseph Adedire, Charles Esters, and Ameir Washington, who had the big bowl game last year for the Red Raiders. Those are the guys that are going to go in there. I'm very interested to see, can you see Joseph Adedire pop? Because we've seen it a few times, but not consistently. And albeit he's young, I get it. But he's the guy out of those 5 that I am most interested in seeing because I think the physical traits are there for him to be a true difference maker and get to the quarterback quite often in 2024. Now, Ameir Washington, who I just mentioned in that edge rotation, did not scrimmage on Saturday due to a groin injury, but he won't miss any more time, according to head coach Joey McGuire. The inside linebackers will have mics in their helmets this year, just like quarterbacks will. Hey, we're in 2024. We're not in the 1980s, people. We love to see it. We don't need to use chalkboards. We don't need to use those signs. Let's use technology. It's good to finally see. And then last but not least, before we head out of here, a really interesting nugget from Joey McGuire. I thought the kicker position was wrapped up. I truly did. I thought it was Gino Garcia, but Reese Burkhardt is giving Gino a run for his money, it sounds like, because, Joey McGuire mentioned that this is a little bit of a race, potentially, not in the sense of Gino's going to lose his job, but maybe it was more of the situation of they really like what Reese has done in terms of going in there and competing with Gino. But that's something to monitor going into week one. But the big news, unfortunately, in Texas Tech football is that of edge Dylan Spencer being out for the season, according to head coach Joey McGuire, with a knee injury. There will be a stable of edge guys trying to replace him and really just replace what Texas Tech really didn't have too much of last year, right? There weren't very many sacks that Texas Tech had. There weren't. So hopefully this stable of defensive linemen, this stable of edge rushers, outside linebackers can produce a few more sacks. But unfortunately, it will be without Dylan Spencer in 2024. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. One more time, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, you might as well tell 5-10 of your friends that are Texas Tech fans to come hop on the Back to 12 squad train, right? We're giving you daily updates on everything Texas Tech football. We'll have live streams here, live videos throughout the week answering your questions leading up to kickoff. We'll also have Lyle Leong Jr. back on the pod here starting in just a couple of weeks. So if you want to join the most interactive and the largest independent Texas Tech YouTube channel, well, all you got to do is like the video and hit that subscribe button.